I'm just going to amend this. Right, guys, that's back on there. So, Jonathan, you haven't said anything in the box. I'm going to assume that the sound is okay. Please let me know if not. Just want to make sure you can hear. But yes, as I was saying, you know my trades were long gold and short euro yen. It was just money seems to be piling into the safe havens, being gold and yen as normal. Indices were falling, so when I checked the currency strength meter this earlier on, when I looked at the trade, euro was the weakest. So that's why I chose euro over the pound, etc. But hasn't really. It's just pretty much been sideways. I mean, take a quick look at that euro yen now. It's just done this pretty much. So yeah, it hasn't really done anything. It did get close to stopping me out, which I'm glad that it didn't. But as soon as I saw that it had this bit of momentum to the downside, that's where I just cut it. Took 10 pips, and but I will now leave this. Which, as I say, I'm glad I did, because I've now been sitting in a very small loss. But yeah. We could be heading back up before coming back down, and it's the 5 minute that triggered it. Pound yen I really like, because we've also got the strong daily heading to the downside, so very likely target daily 20, 132.792, but I'll be happy at 133. But I really would like my entry at the 4-hour 50. Which I think we're likely going to get 133.995. So just under 134 gives us a nice 100 pips. So if you had a 50 pip stop, you'd be just above the daily, the 4-hour 20. Which, if it does push up a bit higher, we'll very likely see that checked before coming down. But again, it's a nice 2 to 1 and a nice 100 pips. It could go further. Could end up down to this 4-hour 200. But that will be my first target, so we'll see what happens. They did the perfect sort of IPO break, retested the 1-hour 50, and then came down, rejected, and then started coming down here, which was early this morning. So I didn't get a chance to enter earlier on, and I would have preferred to see a sort of retest of 200, which has formed some horizontal resistance as well. Now come support. Support, now come resistance. So we'll probably tick back up to here. As I say, it makes sense for us to come back up to 134-ish, just below it, before taking it further short. So that is one. Actually, I need to change that to green, because that is one very nearly ready to go. Pound NZD. Again, I expect a nice little pullback, probably to 1.98 dead, because the NZD and the Aussie pairs do like the round numbers. As you can see here, it's hovered a lot around pretty much 1.99000. But there's plenty of room down to the 4-hour 50, a couple of 100 pips from here. So this is where, if we do get a check up here, we'll take it down to almost 96. 96 would be a couple of 100. Take it down to that 4-hour 50. That would be great. If we get a break below, again, we can check the retest for the daily 20, because that is a long way away. So do just keep an eye. But today's been a nice engulfing bearish candle, so I expect tomorrow to follow suit. So I will be looking for entries to short there. And we'll take a quick look at gold. We've obviously, this was the big move Friday. So as you know, on Friday I was actually short. No, or was it Thursday when the news came out? Whichever day, yeah, Thursday I think it was. I was actually short, and thankfully didn't get stopped out here. Managed to take it back down to the lows, which was my target. I actually took my profit at 96, and not all the way down to these lows. So that gave me a nice 100 pip short there. Now I just let it do its thing. Friday, and then no, it must have been Wednesday, and Thursday was here. Friday we had this great big bullish candle back to the upside. So it clearly did find very strong support, 1483, and reverse. So it would have been nice. What I was looking for was actually a pullback to this daily 20 or 1510 region, which we pretty much got, but it wasn't perfect. But I saw the re-entry around the 1515 level. That's where I took it up to 1520. So this is where we broke the big. This is the big daily candle, and then we had this pullback here, and this was what I liked as my entry, which coincided with the 5 minutes. I did wait for the 5 minutes to show me what it was doing and confirming to the upside before any crashes down, and we got an entry, which was here. So yeah, took it nice up 1520, and I was glad to come out, because it just hovered around, went sideways for ages, and then got some momentum back. But we've only just broken back above the 5 minute 20, so it could have found some more support here at 1520, and now looking to move back up to these highs. But near the end of the day, I'm going to see. I'm not going to rush into it, just because I would like to see another 1 hour pullback. We're just close. I just think we may turn back around there, and give us an entry, but we'll see. We see some major momentum kicking in, then I'll jump in. Is there anything either of you guys have seen or been trading, or anything you've got on your watch list that you want us to break down? We'll go through everything shortly after we've looked at what we're mainly focusing on. And everyone been too busy for trading today? We've had a bit of momentum, so that's the main thing. Sets us up for the week. Euro Aussie. Yeah, this was. So was this a re-entry, or was this the still the same trade you had from last week? Okay, no, good work. Well, it's always good to bank those profits and then find a place to get back in. So let's have a look at that daily, because I remember actually just say we had that another nice push to the upside on the daily. We did pull back nicely. Pulled back to the daily 50 and 20. So yeah, the retests are good. Holding back above here. So yeah, I mean, even now, it's still back at that daily 50 level. Even if you bought now, you could have a 40 pip stop and take this long. Hopefully, break these highs. We're still well above that trend line we've identified before. Let's have a look on the lower time frames. What the story's telling us. Yeah, it's falling right below there, but back up above. It's on the 20. So this is obviously a key area of resistance. So and I've got the 1 hour 50s there. So this may retest this area and then see more momentum to the downside. The daily is obviously telling us that moving to the upside, but short term, maybe just back down to the 1 hour 200, and then moving back up. But let's see what happens. I think in this hour or within the next couple of hours, we're going to see what happens at this price level. Whether we've got a bit of horizontal resistance there as well, so we're either going to see the rejection, or we're going to see a break, retest, and continuation to the upside, in which will probably give it the legs for breaking the high. So it's a nice one to keep an eye on. Let's add that to the watch list. I've been watching the Dow. Actually looking to see if we're going to get this retest here around the 27,000 level, and then a nice short from there. Again, Monday's always a bit of a funny day because it sort of shows you where it wants to go, but at the same time, you got to let the market settle. We've obviously pulled down to daily 20 and rejected that, so it's just a matter of, are we going to break back above and hold above? I mean, you can see how many times it's hit it before and rejected. Back here in July, it's obviously at high, so there's not any points prior to that, but I do see it as a key level, so something we need to bear in mind to see whether we're going to get a bigger push to the upside to all-time highs, or whether we're going to get a deeper pullback, potentially to the daily 50. Gold is getting a little bit of movement. Everything retest. So this is where, when I see a bit of volatility coming in like this is where I like to chop down to the 5 minutes. See if we've had any pullbacks. Make sure we're, everything's lining up. We've got the 20 above the 50. See if there's any retests. If we do get a pull to the upside, and when it comes back down to check in on that 5 minute, 20 or 50, then we can take it long. There's never a rush. Yeah, Euro NZD it's been a little bit like pound NZD, but just because I've seen the euro being a bit weaker than the pound, I just think that the pound NZD is a better one. But yeah, same thing again. Could be looking at to test and continue, but it's just in a bit of a weaker position, I think, compared to in a stronger position rather than the pound. Yeah, I mean, like, look at today. This is a majorly bearish day, and look what happened last time we had an engulfing candle. It just plummeted down to that daily 20. So look for the retest again. Another good one to short. Just got to decide whether you like the short on the Euro NZD or the pound NZD. But obviously the Kiwi's getting a little bit of strength. We're not yet been at that 4 hour 50, so that was at 175132. Let's check 1 hour, 175132. Yeah, so that 20 is just sort of below these, but we haven't had a retest of the 1 hour 50 yet, so this could prove a nicer entry. Now the 1 hour 20 is below the 50. If we do get a pullback to the 20, you could have a pretty tight. You could have a 25 pip stop here, up to 55,500 there. If we get a breakdown, it's going to give us another nice one. First stop will be the 4 hour 50, 174395. Let's see if it lines up that 1 hour 200. Yeah, pretty much. So we get a pullback to here, we can take that short. Same as the pound NZD. But pound NZD's done the 1 hour break. This is why I just think it's a little bit more confirmed. and you know again, it's got plenty of room, but if we look at that daily, you know, it's just the same, you know, nice and high, nice bearish engulfing, plenty of room for it to fall to the downside, and it literally hit that 2000 spot pretty much perfect. But this is why I think the pounds are just a temporary pullback. This is why I say I do see the euro being a bit weaker. Again, we can see, I do find that the pounds tend to reject the EMAs a bit stronger, and this will sort of through it and up and down. But take a look at pound NZD. A lot of the time, I find it just behaves a bit more to the strategies. You see, how it's moved up in line with it, not broken through it. So that's why I do tend to favour the pounds over the euros. But it's the same trade effectively. I'm seeing a strong Kiwi, so I trade against it. Let's have a look at the Aussies. So we've had the breakdowns back below, and day 20s would stay below the daily 50s. So the trend is to the downside. Now we've broken back below, and look for retest confirmations, but let's see. Yes, the Aussie, we've checked that out. Euro pound. I think this is just moving to the upside a little bit before the breakdown. So euro dollar is just still moving down. Euro CAD back below that long-term trend line. So this could very well be another nice short, but and it fits in line with our euro short bias. So yeah, could be some big moves to the downside here for the euros. But we will have to see. But yeah, we pretty much just retested the daily 20 and that trend line, and just moved to the downside. So yeah, it could be a good one to short for tomorrow, but I do prefer the NZD out of the two. This is the euro yen. Again, we had the bearish move. It's been a bearish day. I just should have been in it earlier, but you know, I was going to get more out of gold. Why that was my favourite early on today. Let's see if tomorrow can break those lows and give us some more momentum to the downside. You see, there is a tiny bit of support here, I guess. So we'll see what it does tomorrow. But may prefer the pounds. Pound USD, just another bearish day. As I say, we're looking for these tests here for daily 20s and 50s. But I don't see this being a short for the long term. I see that as being a target and potentially turning around. Pound Aussie dollar just rejected there. Look at that one. I'm chuffed, but they all look pretty much the same. Pound yen, would really like to get that 134. You see, look, we've got a bit of resistance here and resistance there. It would be great to get that entry and take that down to the daily 20. And then NZD. Okay, much the same. Dollar yen. So this today has tested the 20 and the 50 here. Only 12 pips away from that. So we could be seeing potentially upside here. We've broken below and below those, so what's going to prevail? This is why sometimes it is safer to hold on, wait for the breaks to the upside and the retests. Before going long, as you know, right here it's just not breaking above these lower time frames, so that's where it is important to wait. But potentially along here. We'll check on your fibs. Pretty much perfect with that 0.382. So certainly looking good for a long. I just think there's too much yen strength. I'm curious to see tomorrow. Do hope we can get some more indication, but that dollar yen is looking pretty good. Dollar CAD. I don't like trading dollar CAD. I don't know why, but dollar Singapore dollar, dollar chuff. See, I mean, the Kiwi's getting a bit of strength. They're all looking nice, not green but white days. Reversals. Even New Zealand dollars gained some strength against the yen, so really strong. I mean, if we take a look on here right now, let's check the updated stats. Pound's weakest, NZD and chuff being the strongest, so NZD not to be messed with today. Canton. Had NZD. Chuff yens here somewhere, but it just moves a bit funny because they're both a little bit of a safe haven. So the Swissy and the yen are always the ones that the sort of safe haven, as it were. So that's why it's not really done too much today. Not really biting off of each other. So there's a little bit of a watch list of stuff for us to keep an eye on. What are you guys favouring out of all of those? No, you like your Euro pairs, don't you? Sandra, what about you, Jonathan? Oh, we've got a bit of movement to the upside now on this down. Might just be getting that rejection, and then what we'll do is wait for the break back below the 20 to confirm. It's looking good for a 20 pip run back up to here. See, keep getting a little bit of momentum. But he's been a bit outside. It's the only one out of the indices, as I say. I think we just got used around the corner. We rejected these lower levels again, but they're just sort of stuck in this range. The DAX further to the downside, but the problem is if one of the indices starts rocketing, then the others tend to follow, so do be wary. Let's see what other news we've got. Let's have the Euro news. earlier on today, which was negative, as you can see here. All of the actuals were below the forecast, and therefore that's what added to the euro weakness. But tomorrow we've got yen in the morning, and Aussie and dollar consumer confidence. But much as it's a red one, I think it never has too much of an effect, so I'm not really too worried about tomorrow. NZD bank statement, rate statements Wednesday, so maybe that's why we're getting a bit of strength in NZD. I'd imagine they're going to keep it the same. Then Thursday we've got dollar GDP, Jockey speaks, always has a bit of an impact. Army. And Friday a bit more on dollar, but in general not too much of a week to worry about news wise, so let's stick to technicals. And as we experienced last week with my gold, sometimes the technicals prevail, even though, you know, normal circumstances, dollar rate being dropped would normally mean a bullish gold, which it was temporarily, but it didn't last. You know, some tanked, I think, because investors have seen that's a good sign for the dollar, and therefore weaker for gold. But you know, we also recovered that now, and this is exactly why we try to manage positions and take profits when we see them. This is going, might not even get a pullback to 1 hour on euro NZD. Cool. I do want to see this pound yen. We've got this consolidation phase going on, so I'm sure we will get continuation once we reach a little bit more of an interesting level. It may be back here at 133.8. That may be where the sellers decide to jump back in. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. Looks to be a fairly busy week ahead. Anything else you guys want to run off on there? Or anything else, you know, trading related? How's things been going generally? Anything you want us to discuss? This is your time. Any thoughts on what we've gone through? What you think might be the most likely scenarios? Yes, I would technically say just, you know, be wary of those rates before. These sort of moves and the momentum we're looking at, you know, we will generally be out before then. I mean, if we just take euro as an example, because that's going to come up first. This drop, if we get this pullback tomorrow or tonight, we get a short. You know, we're going to be back down to those or down to here within that time frame. So it is at, yeah. So yeah, you will want to be leaving it overnight because the spreads are going to be higher. Not going to physically look at it and manage it. So yeah, do manage accordingly. If you get those pullbacks, you know, 20, 40, 10, whatever it is, if it's profit, it's profit. But I do think, you know, if we see these sort of levels come back in, especially like on pound that we've got marked out, then you know, I do think that we'll be down at the 4 hours 50s before we know it. You know, all these smaller volume candles that are building up are because the market is uncertain, and because it's been coming to the downside, it's more than likely going to be heading to the upside to look for sellers, because that's where the momentum has been. There's not many sellers left right at this moment, otherwise it would continue flying down. So everyone's obviously looking for a better price, and there also isn't many buyers, because otherwise the price would be bouncing up and testing it quicker. So yeah, maybe the Asian session is going to give us those entries. Yeah, do manage effectively, and you know, we'll certainly be out by the end of that day, by the end of tomorrow, if we manage to get the entries. What one are you favouring over Euro NZD versus Pound NZD? I'm going to guess Euro, but let me know if any different. Yeah, I mean, there is uncertainty around the pound, but there is also volatility. So this is the thing. I think that obviously coming up, the closer we get to Brexit date, I think the consensus is bullish in general, and a lot of opportunity in longs from the pound at these levels. I mean, like I say, just looking at the dailies, you know, the recent runs we've had, minus sort of today, has been bullish. So, you know, we can only go technically on what we see, and you know, we've found lows. We've had a bit of a bullish run since the start of the month. But I'd say monthly anyway. September is generally a good time for the pound, because as I mentioned to you before, how the markets tend to work and why the pound tends to go weaker through the summer periods is because people go away. Therefore, they're exchanging pounds for dollars, or pounds for euros, or pounds for yen, or wherever they're travelling to. And you know, this is in the millions and millions and millions, and so it weakens the pound. You know, this is what drives the market, not traders per se, just people that exchanging money at whatever rate they can get to go away with. But they tend to come back ready for schools, and that's why September tends to be a good month, because those currencies we was exchanged into, now it's going to be euro to pound, yen to pound, dollar to pound, and builds back up strength in the pound. Tied in with you know, fundamental news we're expecting, which I think everyone is of the motive, no matter what happens, as long as we leave, that is a good thing. I do see it's just continuing to the upside, and you know, we've had such a bearish run since May. This could be great for us to head back up to 140 and above. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in looking at longs from this sort of level. You know, shorting down to it and longs from it. But yeah, you know, stick in your comfort zone. You know, if you just don't like it, there's no issue with being sort of more risk averse. You know, stick to your trading plan. There is honestly absolutely no right or wrong. You know, and it's perfectly brilliant in my opinion to sort of disagree with me and stick to your own, you know, thoughts. You know, I would encourage that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Because you know, it's your trade, and no one's 100% right. I can't say that I know I'm going to be right. It's only my experience in the markets that tell me, technically this is what I'm looking for to happen. But yeah, I trade what works for you. But euros are providing some good entries. Looking just as good. We've got a potential short, as you know. We've come off these highs. We haven't managed to break them. Last time we did, fell all the way back down to here, so 1.7 dead pretty much. So potentially this is close to where we're going again, or to the 50, or potentially somewhere around here. Whatever it is, it's just remember to class it as a pullback. We've been in we was in a downward trend from October last year to December, and then pulled up, retraced, broke back down to the lows, and then just completely turned around. Lower high, higher high, lower high, higher high. So the trend is bullish. So just bear that in mind when trading. But everyone has their own different sort of opinions. I just tend to find if you're trading with the masses, volatility's there. And saying that, even on the shorter term, today the masses have been shorting. Obviously the news has been bad, so that's had a very negative impact on the euro anyway. But follow the money. Find the interest in the lower time frames. Still waiting for this pullback on gold. But again, this is where the money's going into, to trade with it. Dow hasn't reached 27,000 yet. See if there's been any change on the strength. No, NZD still strong. Pound being the weakest now. Euro gaining a little bit of strength, so maybe the euro will provide the NZD entries before the pound does. Too much else. Watch with interest. Kill that dollar yen. See, just another small candle. Undecisive. Very undecisive hour. Let's look at the 5 minutes. So it's just completely sideways. Yeah. If we'd bounced from here, it would certainly look better for that long, but I guess it found support at the daily 20 and 50 before it reached that. So, it's important to take the higher time frames as the stronger. But this does look good for a long. Just be nice to see a little bit of momentum kick in. Can't really see any reason yet to take this back long. I'd like to see, at least a 30-minute 20 back up above the 50 and take a retest there. Just because I think it could go long and take 20 pips for it. Hits one of these. I think it's very possible. But yeah, so you got the 200 before you got the other. So maybe break and retest of this to confirm to the upside. 5 minute 20. By that time, we'll be sort of crossing over. Look at the retest from there, and you could have your stop sort of 25 pips, which would bring you below these lows, and see if we get a nice run to the upside. But I think it's a nice looking trade. I'm going to get this green actually. Okay. Well, anything else, guys? Anything else you see, or we'll cover back over anything that we've discussed? I tend to see something around 7 o'clock. We get a bit of momentum as the US is wrapping up in a way. So keep an eye on sudden movements. This UK 100 is just stuck here in that 7340. So looking at our time frames, if we've got a bit of resistance here previously to close above. Yeah, I've got a little bit of sort of support and resistance here, but it's just waiting on the patient on UK decisions. This range has held for so long. I mean, we have come from the downside, so I would expect to see upside from here normally, but it's not giving anything away. Nothing easy anyway. Just to get a break and retest here on this 1 hour 50. I think he's back up to the highs. Here again, hanging around these levels. I do think we're going to see some more downside here, so maybe a retest of the 1 hour 20. It's being capped by this 30-minute 20. It just needs a little pull up. I do see this being a good move to the downside, and you could draw a lovely little wedge in here. Can we get that little break? It would be nice to see back down to the lows, which is what I was looking for earlier today, but just didn't get that momentum. It all happened here after the news, so we'll often see this happen, and then give us a chance to get in on the next day, really. So let's see. If we suddenly get a little move to the downside, then it could give us a good cause to re-enter. Let's get that back on there. Break, retest. Probably be that 180 dead, to be honest. No, 180.1. Now you can retest and then continue short. Okay guys, well, if there isn't much else to mention, then I will look to wrap up. There's really else worth checking on. And then NZD is just to break those lows. Well, thanks for joining in, guys. I will get the recording uploaded so you can review it if there's anything we've missed. Feel free to put anything in the groups if there's anything else you want to review, or even if you want to have any input on what goes on in the webinars, then please do feel free to mention anything at all. You know, if you're seeing anything in the markets prior, you know, we can bring that up as a topic. Anything else on the trading journey that, you know, we can help with. That is what we want to achieve. So thanks for joining in, and I'll catch you on the group. Let's hope for another profitable week and continuation or so in the month strong. In another week, I really am gunning for a 40% month this month. So we'll see. I'll keep you updated. Very nearly there. So I'm trying not to give much back to the market, but we'll see how we get on. Right. Well, thank you very much, guys. Have a good evening, and I'll speak to you soon. Good luck.